the work on the guitar continues. Basically I did a sync, I don't know what it's called, a route, so this part of the guitar could actually go in, and I needed this sort of relief, or whatever you call it, considering of course the neck height, right? I wanted the bridge to be lower, the top of the bridge to be lower than this fretboard. So worst case, let's see, worst case the string could be lowered so it'll be contacting the fretboard. So a little bit of minimum, or a little bit of margin. And probably gonna go in like this, and the stud posts are gonna go in here. And what I was talking about earlier is when I do this, basically this part of the guitar contacts the bottom of this thing, so this relief is effectively not 5 millimeters but a little bit less. And the problem I had here is that this is a, as you can see, it's hollow. I only did it because when I put this insert piece in here, I didn't want the top edge to show, although it's under the bridge, so I don't know if it matters. But basically I made this piece so it'll be bracing this part, so it's not gonna be flying a cantilever piece, but it'll be solidly supported from underneath. Okay, here we go. So we got the bridge installed with the studs in here. Alignment seems to be good. I could access the tuning peg, although you can see that this cutout here, it's shifted about 5 millimeters this way. It's like almost 1/4 of an inch, maybe. Not quite, but oh well. Like, maybe I calculated to this point and this point. But anyways, it's done. So with the pickup cover, or the humbucker ring, this is what it'll look like. The odds are I won't be using a humbucker ring, but yeah, as I imagine, kind of this wide expanse, right? So it's kind of the plane or the refrigerator. So I'm probably gonna have to put some kind of character line in there to put a little bit more interest on this side of the guitar, and possibly this side too, because it is like flat, or a pick guard, which is what Ovation did. Okay, so this is where I am now. I've let's see, I've attached the neck. Kind of put the pickup position in here. I'm thinking that, you know, when you have a Les Paul or something, the rear pickup is a little bit too harsh for jazzy sound, so I'm probably gonna move it up a little bit. This of course being bassy, so I don't know how much difference there will be between the two pickups because it'll be close, but hey, it's just a subtle nuance. This piece is there because I put the spring in and I need something to lift it up. So yes, the neck is secured. So basically, let's see, here you go, and one spring in there, and of course the tremolo spring creates resonance for the guitar. So even if the trem is not active, I think it has some kind of audible effect, which I kind of like. So this is how it is looking so far. So I made the route for the rear pickup and kind of fit it in. And now I'm trying to position the volume and the tone control and the toggle switch for the pickup selection. This isn't the actual knob I'll be using. But actually last night I was watching John Bonamasa's video on YouTube regarding 10 tones you could get from a Les Paul. And he was using the 2 volume and the 2 tone knobs quite effectively. I was actually impressed. I didn't know you could do it that way. Generally I have my volume full up, except when for lead parts, and for rhythm part, I just turn it down. My volume is essentially full up all the time, thinking I really don't need this thing, but he kind of enlightened me on how you're supposed to use the volume and the tone. In any case, so try to lay out four volume, four knobs in here, but it is a bit tight. I mean, it is a pretty big area here, but the trem arm, you know, when you try to avoid it, there's a limited space where you could put the volume in the knob. So I'm assuming in the playing position, the trem arm will probably be down here. Yes, I'll hardly ever, if ever, have a trem bar in the guitar, but in the case I do, I want to make sure it's positioned properly. So the most part, it's probably going to be positioned here or about there. If I bring it up to use it, it's probably going to be around here, right? So basically I can't have the knob underneath here. And if I am playing, I'll be playing, let's see, with my palm resting on the bridge, which means I can reach the volume knob here. Tone knob, I'll probably just open up my palm and reach for it. Toggle switch, I can't flick it right now because it's not attached to anything, but I think that is far enough where it won't touch, I won't touch it when I'm adjusting my tone, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now in terms of the location of the knobs. So if I was to put two volume, two tone layout, and oops, it's gonna hit. Shucks. To avoid, maybe it'll be dangling around here, and in order to avoid it, it kind of becomes like that. Yeah, let's see, it kind of moved a little bit, huh? And it's kind of cramped, doesn't look good. So I'm gonna go with a volume and tone, and this will, I guess, really the only place I could put the switch, although I could probably put it up here too, but it kind of looks strange. So the next step is to drill the holes for the pots. Obviously, here, let's see, can I see it? It's kind of light, but basically I use that template to mark out where I cut. So these are all the sort of the empty cavity, and made sure that the position I have for it fits into it. The original position I have for this switch was too far off, so it would have missed, well, it would interfere with it, so I would have to carve it out. And of course I wanted to stay off the edge as much as possible because we'd probably be beveling this thing, so I wanted clearance. And so when I was drilling it, basically I unfortunately drilled it all the way through. Not just kidding. Just trying to locate the position of the control so I could enlarge the hole here, and then it'll be sort of centered over the pots and the switches that I'll put. Okay, that was a bit of a frightening moment. So with the holes, the three holes that came through, basically I was using a 1-inch spade bit, I think it's called, to basically enlarge the hole. And then I put a hole in the middle of here and here and to connect it. And I was cutting the final hole. The intent is to basically get a flat object here and then just go with the router. So I have circle, flat, circle, flat, circle, flat, or radius. But this thing actually came off and started thrashing around and destroyed some of that thing. So, well, what happened was this part broke off, right? Unless it's centered on something like that, these blades are uncontrollable. But hopefully it's damage I could recover from. So the basic idea here is to connect all those holes. Here's the three holes for the controls, and maybe you can't see. The corresponding holes in the front of the guitar should line up, and basically getting a straight edge here, so I'd be able to cut roughly a straight edge here, so it doesn't look too rugged, rough. Okay, so I have a sort of temporary knobs in here. It's not the final one in there, just to look at the position. And yep, when I'm playing here, the volume is right there. This one I have to kind of, the tone I have to kind of let go, but that's kind of it is. When the tremolo comes into place, you know, it does clear. This switch I can move without hitting the knobs, so I think I'm okay. Oops, this thing came out. And so one of the things I'm noticing here is the chip out. It broke out. It's probably when I was having that the runaway drill bit situation, I guess. But looking into the backside, so by the way, this is a push-pull parallel serial humbucker, right? So when it's down, it's a parallel humbucker. Parallel? No, it's a serial humbucker. So it acts as a regular humbucker, but when you pull it up, basically it's like a strat in the number 2, number 3, number 4 position, where the 2 coils are in parallel. So it's still humbucking, but it kind of sounds like single coil. I used to like to do a 3-way switch, humbucker, coil tap, and parallel, but never used a single coil because of the buzz. So basically I went to parallel serial layout in most recent guitars I built. So the back of the cavity looks like this. It was, yeah, I was able to get it pretty clean. Now I have to, there should be enough thickness here to, where is it? Here we go. So I got some leftover material from the top. So basically what I'll be doing is I'll be recessing a pattern here. So basically routing a channel here. So basically this will go in right on top to act as a cover, and most likely over the tremolo cover too. This one, the string doesn't come through like a strat or anything, so there's no need for a hole. So the only time you actually need to get this thing off is if you have to adjust the string. Okay, and also note that here, I can't see, let's see, like right here, it is a pretty big substantial dent. And on the back side, like this, right? Although that's not a dent, it's a breakout. And then if you look at the back, you do see a few grooves that get put in on the back side. You may have noticed that I always have this backing material, the template. So what I do, so basically what happens is, you know, like these small things basically are on top of the surface, that, and then you put it on and then it kind of grooves, right? So basically I do use this. So anytime I put anything on this thing, where is my brush? Can't see my brush, but anyways, I brush, oh, can't find it. I brush, oh, it's probably outside. I brush things away so I have a clean surface to work on, so I don't have to worry about putting my guitar on the side. So you'll always see this thing underneath when I do things. But even then, you do end up getting a little bit of dent and all those kind of things. And I'll basically steam all that out in the end. Maybe sand it out a little bit. This one I'm going to have to glue and hope that the glue doesn't really show, and probably sand it a little bit. And if that doesn't work, basically I'll put like a radius on this thing so it becomes less visible, right? Is that all I wanted to say? I thought I wanted to say something more, but anyways, that's kind of the situation.